Dallas says homelessness is finally dipping. Residents say the tents keep coming back by morning. Here's the twist. Both can be true. The latest count shows another year of decline across Dallas and Collin counties, almost 5% down from last year, yet 311 complaints about encampments exploded by 45% in just a few years, topping 11,000 in 2024. The data looks cleaner. The sidewalks don't. By day, Dallas gleams. Office towers and packed arenas promise upward mobility and a clean story about growth. After dark, another map appears. Underpasses with sleeping bags, blue tarps fluttering against concrete, and campfires that make nearby shop owners wonder if tomorrow's opening is a gamble. On a single winter night, outreach teams counted 3,718 people without a stable home across Dallas and Collin. That number has trended down since 2021 thanks to a coordinated push to get people into permanent places. Proof the system can move the needle when the pieces click. But if the graph slopes downward, why do so many Dallas blocks feel stuck on repeat? Part of the answer is movement without exit. Crews can clear a camp by noon. By nightfall, the tents regroup a few blocks away. Businesses report fires, trash, break-ins, and a city response that feels like mopping without fixing the leak. The city logged a 45% jump in encampment complaints since 2021, crossing 11,000 calls last year. Even some council members question how resolved gets defined in dashboards and memos. The Office of Homeless Solutions' own criteria show a resolution can be marked after a set of procedural steps, which doesn't always mean people got housed. It means the site, for now, is cleared. That's tidy for a spreadsheet, not for a street. And when cleanups become a carousel, pressure builds to get tough. Texas took a hard line in 2021 with a statewide ban on public camping. Supporters called it common sense. Critics called it criminalizing survival. The law didn't create more units or more treatment slots. It created new penalties for sleeping outside. Advocates warned that citations and records make it harder to land a job or an apartment, turning a detour into a dead end. Cities can enforce. People still need somewhere to go. Without a real door at the end of the night, the policy mostly moves the problem. Out of sight, if not out of town. So why not just build enough homes and end the debate? Because the math in Dallas is brutal. For renters at the bottom, the region is short by nearly 180,000 affordable homes. That's not a pothole. That's a canyon. And for would-be buyers, Dallas families need about $127,000 a year to afford the median home without being cost-burdened. The typical household makes roughly $97,900, a $30,000 gap that turns the buy a house, get stability promise into wishful thinking. In plain English, wages and inventory haven't kept pace with demand. When the ladder's missing rungs, people don't climb. They slip. Yet there's proof that when housing comes first, the curve bends. Dallas didn't stumble into 4 straight years of declines. It coordinated nonprofits, outreach teams, housing authorities to push a pipeline from street to keys in hand. That continuum of care approach pairs permanent housing with services, so people aren't just placed, they're supported. The results? Multi-year reductions since 2021, and a count that keeps inching down. But here's the part people aren't hearing. Big federal changes are being debated that could reorder homelessness funds nationwide, shifting emphasis toward short-term fixes and away from the long-term housing engine Dallas has relied on. If that spigot tightens, you'll see it first on the block, not the budget line. Meanwhile, the fallout of visible street poverty isn't just moral, it's economic. When a strip of storefronts becomes a tug-of-war between shoppers and survival, everyone loses. Parents avoid parks, regulars stop lingering at cafes, insurance rates inch up. Another "for lease" sign goes in a window. Some schools near camps report anxious drop-offs, and small businesses describe the same cycle. Call 311, a cleanup, then watch tents reappear by the weekend. It's not hysteria. The city's own 311 data shows the surge in encampment reports. Order feels like a performance without a backstage. That's why the fiercest fights in Dallas aren't on sidewalks. They're over the numbers. Ask 10 Dallas residents if homelessness is down, and you'll get 11 answers. Committee briefings tout progress. Neighborhood meetings say the opposite. A November 2024 council memo even acknowledges the tension. Counts show improvement, but public perception is fraying. The rumor mill feeds on that gap, that the city cooks the books, that encampments are quietly pushed around to keep downtown pretty, that stats serve PR more than people. Some of that is noise, some is a fair shot across the bow. When resolved doesn't equal housed, trust cracks. And once trust is gone, every number sounds like spin. So what does a real fix look like? Not a photo op? The blueprint isn't magic. It's housing first plus services. Lease units now, build deeply affordable stock, cut red tape on vouchers, scale mental health care, and protect funding that keeps people housed longer than a news cycle. Dallas has already shown it can move the needle when those pieces align. The risk is swapping what works for short bursts of visibility control, clear a camp, tally a win, repeat, while the system that actually reduces homelessness runs on fumes. And when policy chooses optics over exits, the street keeps the receipt. Dallas can keep shrinking the problem or keep shuffling it. One road funds keys, care, and permanent placements. The other leans on bans, citations, and press conferences. The first is slower to brag about and harder to headline. The second looks decisive. For a week. The count is trending down. The complaints are screaming up. Which metric do you want to govern by? Because the one you choose will decide whether this decline becomes a milestone or a mirage.